What is up, ladies? Happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Energy Shift, our weekly health and wellness check in. I hope you guys are all doing well. Kids are back to school, settled into that fall routine. It's September already, and so that means the holidays are going to be here. Everything feels crazy, but really, really good. I am liking the cooler weather. Hopefully, y'all in the valley or Tucson are getting some cooler weather as well. All right, so I wanted to talk about mindset today. It's such an underrated topic when it comes to our health and wellness goals and our overall quality of life. A lot of times, we are holding ourselves back from our greatest potential, and it's all here. We hold on to a lot of things that set us back, things that may have kept us comfortable or safe in the past, but aren't serving this new version of ourselves. And so, if we really look at it, we really look at what we want to achieve, whether that is health change, education change, financial change, wellness change, body composition change, it doesn't matter. There's something that we're holding on to that is keeping us in a mindset and a pattern that isn't serving the future of ourselves. And I I'm a nerd. I like to read about mindset. I like to read about health and wellness, of course, and I like to read about creating this future version of me that is going to continue to level up. I know it can be really overwhelming too when we get so caught up in life that we just tend to go into a mode that is operating in survival instead of thriving. And that's where we run into overwhelm, decision fatigue, not getting everything done, guilt. All of those things will bring us down. They're not going to bring us up, right? So we're going to talk about some ways that we can start to shift our mindset, overcome some coping mechanisms that aren't serving us, and really start to thrive, that are simple, that are not going to be overwhelming to achieve or accomplish. And the first one we're going to talk about is talking to ourselves in a way that is conducive to change and to positivity. I'm going to use weight as an example, but you can use anything. You can use finances, you can use education, you can use your business, you can use your family. But let's think about something that you want to accomplish. And let's say you're somebody who wants to lose 20 pounds, okay? And you've tried before. You've tried to lose 20 pounds and you've gotten close, or maybe you've done it and the weight comes back on and you feel very, very defeated by the process. And you tell yourself, I'm never going to get this weight off. I'm never going to feel like myself. I'm never going to fit into those jeans. Those words are making it true. Instead of saying, I am somebody who can achieve this success. I am somebody who can save extra money. I am somebody who can eat a little healthier. I am somebody who can go on walks. And then you prove it to yourself. So here's the other part of this scenario is we continually let ourselves down. And it's because we shoot for too much. We want to lose 20 pounds. So we're going to overhaul our nutrition. We're going to try to work out 4 days a week, even though we've been doing 0. We're going to try to hit 10,000 steps a day, even though we've been hitting 4,000. Instead, we're going to reframe. We're going to allow it to be doable, even in a way that feels like it's not going to be enough. So what that can look like is 1 meal a week. We're just changing 1 meal a week. Instead of 10,000 steps a day, we're going to shoot for 5. If you go over, great. And that might feel like not enough to you, but if you're getting 3,000 steps and you go to 5, we're talking about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14,000 more steps than you got in previous weeks. You don't think that adds up? It absolutely adds up. 1 meal turns into 2 meals. 2 meals turns into 3. Once you start feeling better and trusting yourself that you can get involved in this process, you can master your mindset, that self-trust paired with positive self-talk. And this is like, y'all have kids here. You wouldn't want your kid to be like, I can't do that. Like, you can, you just have to try. It might be hard. It might get you out of your comfort zone, but we don't let our kids talk to themselves like that. And we've never talked to our family members like that, but somehow we always talk to ourselves like that. I can't do it. I can't save money. I can't lose weight. I can't get healthier. I can't. That manifests to truth. And that is where we allow ourselves to decline. We're not paying attention to our needs. We become overwhelmed. Now we are doing all of these things that self-sabotage are the good intentions that we have. So we have more guilt, we have more stress, and the cycle just keeps repeating itself. So give yourself some realistic mile markers plus positive self-talk. I can do this. I am healthy. I am the healthier version of myself. Live it and believe it. Same thing with something like money. Maybe you want to save some money to buy a house or upgrade your house or buy a new car, and you feel super, super stuck, and you know that you need multiple thousands of dollars to reach your goal, and that feels daunting. Just like 20 pounds might feel daunting, but if you're focused on 1 pound, or you're focused on saving $1, those things add up over time. Maybe you can't save $100 a week. Maybe that's not doable, but you could probably save five. That's going to add up over time. And you may not think it's enough, but once you save that five, maybe then you're like, oh, this is fun. I have weeks and weeks worth of $5 saved up. It's added up to a good chunk of money over time. Now I'm going to give up one extra Starbucks run a week. I'm going to put that into savings. I'll just make my coffee at home. And then you're saving $10 a week. And then that adds up. And then you decide that instead of 2 meals out a week, you're only going to do one. So then you have $50. So then you're saving $60 a week. Do you see how this adds up? Like, I am capable. I am good with money. There are ways to start to allow yourself that trust and that belief in your mindset, in your goals, that don't have to be overwhelming for you. A lot of people think that when we're changing our health and wellness practices, that we have to do it all. We can't just do one thing. But it's strange, right? Because we don't apply all or nothing mentality to anything else in our lives. If our kids get in trouble at school, we don't throw the whole ass kid away. If our tire pops, we don't pop the other four, but we do that with ourselves. And once we can start identifying those negative shifts, those negative self-talk, the negative coping mechanisms, or maybe you don't have enough planned, and so you're constantly going through the drive-through. You are so busy. So instead, we're gonna practice with 1 meal a week. Let's say you have to drive the kids to sports practices and you're so busy, you're always running them through the drive-through. Then you feel guilty, you feel sluggish, you feel lethargic. One of those meals a week, I want you to put into a crock pot. I got a guide for you even. So if you're watching this and you need it, reach out to me. I'll make it easy. I'm going to give you the recipes. They are kid friendly. I made them for parents, and they're going to taste good for adults too. So one of those you have in the crock pot, you set it in the morning, took you 10 minutes. Your meal is ready. You don't have to go through the drive-through. You get your kids from sports practice and you have a healthy meal ready to go that they like to eat and is going to be conducive to your goals. Same thing with the saving money. Same thing with education. Maybe you have an educational goal that you want to achieve. Instead of thinking, I need to go back to college full time, maybe you just take one class. Slowly let that build up. Once one class feels doable and you've allowed that to be in your routine and your schedule, add a second class, take two. There's no, like, you're not getting anywhere by standing still, but you are moving forward even with slow momentum. And then you build that self-trust, that belief that you absolutely can crush these goals that you want to achieve. It could be anything. And again, we're not talking to anybody else this way. We're only talking to ourselves this way. So you have to tell yourself that you can, and you have to prove to yourself that you are becoming the person that you want to be. Because like a more educated person, a more financially savvy person, a fitter person, whatever that is for you, becomes a different version of themselves. If you want to go from being a legal assistant to an attorney, you have to become a different version of yourself to become that next level of professional. You know that. I know that. If I am in health and wellness, I started my journey overweight, tired, broken, drinking too much, eating too much, I had to believe that I could become the fit person I wanted to be. And I did. And throughout that process, it was slow. I liked working out. I'm one of those weird people that likes working out. Okay. So I was already doing that part, but my food was atrocious. And I had to start to believe that I could become the version of the person I am now before I even looked like it. And I wholeheartedly took it into the like my being that I did become it. You have to start to shift. You have to start to trust yourself. And if you tell yourself you can every day, I woke up, I set affirmations on my phone, like you're strong, you got this, all of like whatever it is that you need. When my alarm went off in the morning, that's the first thing I saw. Like you're going to crush today. You're going to get closer to your health goals. And that started my day out with success. And that's another thing that you can do is one small thing to start your day out with success. Maybe that's as simple as a protein shake or checking your bank account balance or starting a small side hustle where you're doing some crafts that like may actually help you with your mental health as well. We want to be creative creatures, and you can sell it on Facebook or sell it on Etsy or whatever, making a little extra money. That money you put on the side towards your home buying goal or your new car buying goal, or getting your kid to college goal, whatever that looks like for you. But we tend to like focus on this huge bigger picture. I have to lose 20 pounds or 50 pounds. I have to save $50,000 and I have zero. Like that's daunting. That is hard, but it isn't hard to think about one. It isn't hard to think about, yes, I can. It is easy to put yourself, and we have to start looking at ourselves in a future context. Human beings are wired for pleasure in the moment. And that is something that we continue to do because it keeps us feeling safe, right? We're never out of our comfort zones. We refuse to learn in a lot of cases because it's embarrassing. And it really isn't. This is something that through my health and wellness journey, I have really embraced. And actually, Katie and I were talking about that briefly last week, is my openness and willingness to learn has propelled me into spaces that I never would have been in before, because I like admitted that I don't know everything. I get this a lot in health and wellness is I know what to do. I just need to do it. And the truth is we don't know. We don't know what to do. If we knew what to do, we would be doing it. So we need to educate ourselves. And that education is empowerment because nobody can take that away from you. It doesn't mean you have to pay for something. Yeah, I do. And of course, I am going to always be on the side of coaching, whether it's health and wellness coaching, business coaching, whatever the case may be, because mentorship, humans are creatures of connection. So mentorship helps us connect with other humans and that are already doing what we want, which is scientifically proven to help you be more successful because you are you're putting yourself in a room with people who have what you have. And usually we are in spaces with people who are kind of similar to us. And there's nothing wrong with that. And we're not giving up our friendship or our families or whatever, but we are allowing ourselves to come into rooms where people are doing what we want to do. That becomes inspiration. We want to become them. We can get ideas from them. They're already doing it. Usually we're so well equipped to do this stuff, but we don't have the bandwidth to do it. And the people that we're spending the most of our time with are not doing it either. And again, that's not slighting them, but that's holding you back. So you need to get into spaces where people are doing it. If you want to start a business, join the business group that we have here. Find yourself with other female entrepreneurs that are out there doing the risky thing, doing the scary thing. If you want to save money, join a financial Facebook group. Facebook has so many opportunities for just finding like-minded people. You might find a friend. I know for me, I've connected with women all over the country that I'll jump on a phone call or Zoom call with just to be able to have some like-minded women in my life that aren't necessarily super like close in proximity to me, because I live in a small town in northern Arizona, and I'll be honest, it's hard to find friends, but that's why like it's been so beneficial for me to connect with somebody like Katie and all of the resources here, because for me, one of my main goals is to continue to level up with my business as an entrepreneur in my fitness journey. And I think that strong women are conducive to that. So like if you haven't connected with me, please do so. Like let's be friends. Let's actually talk to each other. This year has been the goal for me has been connection. I think we lost a lot of that in the pandemic because we had to, right? And I don't, this is not any sort of sway one way or the other. This is, anytime you mention the pandemic, it can get controversial. But the truth is, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, we all were kind of lacking connection. A lot of people gravitated to the online space, including myself. I coach online, but I used to coach in person, actually coached in person through the pandemic. So I kind of did things slightly opposite, and then transitioned into fully online coaching. But I still feel like over the past couple years, the connection that I wanted with humans, like-minded humans for my own goals, has kind of fallen by the wayside. And so that has been so important to me to be able to really connect with like-minded women and women who I admire and are successful and look up to. A lot of those things we just overlook. We want to jump right into like saving a bunch of money, or all of our like the basic fat loss protocols, or whatever the case may be, thinking that like if we want to become a lawyer, we have to go straight into law school. Yes, of course you have to do that eventually. Yes, of course, if you want to become a bodybuilding athlete, you're going to have to get into the gym and count your macros and like whatever. You could have those big, huge goals too, but it's not going to go anywhere unless you start somewhere. You have to stop standing still, and you have to start telling yourself that you can. You believe in yourself, that you are going to get there. You are going to lose the weight. You are going to save the money. You are going to get the job. Other people are doing it. There's other lawyers out there. They're no better than you. They just did it first. There's other fit people out there. I'm no better than you. I just did it first. And most of us are willing to help, at least in a capacity where you can, like, that's why I said, join Facebook groups, join connection, reach out to people in their DMs, ask them how they do it. Ask them how they like got from the mindset space where they were in a negative place to a positive place. Like, have those conversations and make friends. That, like, yes, some people are jerks and they're just going to be jerks. And if somebody's a jerk to you, move on, go to the next person. I haven't run into anybody in here that's a jerk. I would imagine that everybody, there's like 12,000 people in this group. I've talked to a lot of them. I don't think I've talked to 12,000 of them, but I do know that they're from all walks of life, some struggling, some doing well, and they want to see you do well too. And no matter what your goal is, we have to start talking to ourselves in a way that is moving us forward instead of backwards or staying still. Fear is the reason why you're stuck, and only you can get yourself out of that. You are not stuck. You're not a tree. You can move. You can get a better job. Yes, it takes time. It does. It can take some time. It can take some effort. It takes some hardship, often takes sacrifice. Like for me, I hired my first coach when I was 30, my personal trainer, and it was $500 a month. That was far beyond what I thought my budget was for coaching at that time. I'm 42. This is 12 years ago. And that was a lot of money for, it's still a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but it was a lot. It was more than I had ever spent, but I was so invested in it. And so for me, what that looked like was I knew I was going to have this extra expense every month. So I had to look for other expenses that I could let go of. Going out to eat often, let go of that. I needed to drink less. So that, like, drinking less pretty much saved me. I guarantee I was spending close to that much going out, because I wasn't drinking at home. I was going out with friends for the most part and drinking, $10, $12, $14 cocktails. Those add up, obviously, plus a tip. And so I had to get really real with myself. It wasn't that I couldn't afford it. It was that I had to let go of some of my negative coping mechanisms, the things that made me feel safe, going out to eat all the time. It was a lot. It was 3, 4, 5 times a week for me, as well as going out to the bars and drinking 2 or 3 times a week, that was the $500 plus some right there. I had some room for some extra workout clothes as I started to drop the weight. I just had to believe it. I just had to shift. I just had to get myself to a place of feeling a little uncomfortable to get comfortable. And I don't regret it. And I know that when you start working on this stuff too, you absolutely will not regret it. You're not going to regret taking one class. Let's say you've been wanting to go back to school and you're afraid because you can't do 4 or 5 classes with work and your kids and your husband, your partner, whatever. You can't do that. Of course you can't do that. That's crazy. But you can take one, and at the end of the semester, you're going to be so stoked that you took that one. You got an A, you finished it, you learned a lot. You can use that knowledge and that momentum to maybe get a better job. And like I said, you could then potentially you have one class in your system, so then you take 2. That's how this works. That's how sustainable and real change is made. None of this stuff happens overnight for anyone. All of us struggle. If somebody has something that you want, most of the time, yes, some people have more privilege. Some people are given stuff, but I will tell you, education is generally not given. Financial security, sometimes, but generally not. Fitness, definitely not given. That is always earned. And to be able to get there shows that you have a little bit of a level of resilience that other people do not have. And again, I'm not talking shit about those people. It might not be that important to them. That's okay. But if this is something that you want, if this is something that like you think about all of the time and you continue to hold yourself back, that is a negative coping mechanism, and you know how to override it. If you're like me, you were working out, but then drinking every night, and I was directly affecting my goals. And I had to come face to face with my own truth and be like, this isn't conducive to the life you want to live, Erin. This isn't conducive to the body you want, the health you want, the way you want to feel. It was causing so many health problems. It was directly conflicting the work that I was doing. And once I looked at that, once I really looked at myself in the eye and was like, you are doing this to yourself, 40 pounds was gone. Yeah, it took 8 months, but like I was still doing the things. I still was going to the gym. I just had to tweak some nutrition. Again, I was saving money because I wasn't going out to eat. I was saving money because I wasn't drinking. And yes, I found other ways to spend it, as we do, but this is so important to understand. And we tend to not look inward first, and we tend to want to stick with our comfort zone first, or we tend to want to believe that other people are just lucky. No one is lucky. There are lucky people, but I don't know very many of them that are legitimately lucky. And usually people that are given things, in my experience, are still not happy. And I think when you we are probably just not people that are given or handed things. That's okay. That happens. That's most of us. And so we have to do what we can to override the fact that we weren't given it, but we're going to appreciate it so much more when we get there. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you're looking for a good read, this book is called The Mountain Is You. It talks all about self-sabotage and negative coping mechanisms. It's also available on Audible audiobook if you want to listen to it. So valuable. I need to go through it again. It's been about a year since I've read it, but I keep it right next to me in case I need to reference it, because I still am in the position where I hold myself back on things that I know that I can accomplish. And in most cases, it is negative self-talk. Stop doing that. You can become whatever you want to be. It is negative coping mechanisms and that lead to self-sabotage. And once we start recognizing those patterns, we can slowly override them and do things to prove to ourselves that we can reach our goals. And once you are feeling that self-trust again, you are going to start to believe it more and more and more. And as you believe it more and more and more, then you just become that. You become the fit person, or the financially stable person, or the educated person that you want to be, or all three. That's what I want to be, all three of those things. I'm continually seeking education. I'm continuing to level up my health and wellness. I'm continuing to work on my mental health. I'm continuing to work on my self-sabotage and coping mechanisms. And I'm hoping that in turn, I will also make money helping people out. So I'm working on the financial part of things because I also believe that when you pay it forward, things come back to you. And I know that to be true. So if you feel like you're struggling, you're not alone. We're all here with you. Decide today on one small thing you can do based on whatever your goal is. Think about your goal, write it down, and share it here. Share it. There's science proving that if you speak your goal out loud, that you are more likely to follow through because you've told other people. So putting it on Facebook, telling your family, shoot me a DM. Um, oh, Facebook outage. I just got a notification that there's a Facebook outage. So if you guys aren't seeing this, I apologize, but I'm going to wrap it up anyway. I hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of your day. I can't wait to see you all next week. And if you need any help or support or just want to connect, feel free to shoot me a DM. Have a fantastic Tuesday.
Struggling to feel your best? When energy is low and nothing seems to work, it's time for a new approach. Here's someone who guides real people to real, lasting wellness. Meet Erin McDonald, certified master health coach, nutrition coach, and NASM personal trainer. Helping you create simple, lasting routines that support a healthier, more energized you. Feel better, move better, live better. Because health isn't just a goal, it's a lifestyle you deserve. Take the first step toward feeling your best. Your future self will thank you. Connect with Erin today.